So, Mike, I got to ask you, give us a sample right now of your thoughts of Jalen Hurts and where he is, and which side of the fence you're on right now.
You know, I'm just kind of in the middle with him. Like, I saw some improvement last year. I didn't see enough for me to go, oh man, they're really gonna, he's really gonna blossom this year. I got to see a little more about that. Now, that said, I don't know why there's any way he shouldn't be able to do that. Let's face it, they upgraded. Their offensive line is solid. He's got weapons. I know Seth wants him to run the ball, but he's going to have to make. I didn't see enough of him making the valid throw, like the one you really can count on that most quarterbacks in this league can make.
Welcome back, Sports Take. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis with you on this Wednesday. All right, so big news yesterday. Gunner was there on hand at 6 ABC when we announced as a station, as a channel, that we would be expanding the post-game show and changing it up a little bit and adding Mike Missanelli and Seth Joyner to Derek and Devin Caney. That is a monster foursome right there. And joining us right now to talk a little bit about that and everything is the man himself. Mikey Miss, what's happening?
What's up, guys? How's everybody doing?
What's going on, man?
Mike, welcome to the squad, my man.
Thank you very much. It's it's a really exciting opportunity, and when it was presented to me, I was like, wow, because I was kind of just looking forward to waking up late on Sunday mornings and 1 o'clock game and pouring a little bourbon on the rocks and watching a game. But now, the chance to work with D Gunn and Seth and Devin is really exciting.
Well, they didn't tell you, Mike. We encourage you to still pour some bourbon. It would make for a really interesting post-game show.
Right.
That sounds good. I'll be good with that.
The first thing I said when I saw you characters, I'm like, man, look at that setup there. Now, who's going to have the mic burning the most? Woo. You, Seth, D-Gun. Neither one of you guys want to, not give your comments and give your opinion. How they going to keep this going, man?
Listen, the way I'm looking at this, Barrett, is I'm going to utilize these two guys and stay out of the way. It's interesting that like my opinions are like they pale with Seth there. Right? Like I'm not going to overpower him. So I think the strategy that I'm going to have is to lead Seth into dangerous grounds and then hope D Gun can protect me from getting my ass kicked by Seth. Yeah. Basically, that's what I'm going to do.
Mike, I put Gunner in between you guys if you're sitting at the same podium. Yeah.
I try to do it. D Gun saw it yesterday. I try to tweak him a little bit by I could just say two words like Carson Wentz and that's it. Or he was trying to criticize. No leadership on defense, so I just said Fletcher Cox, and that's all I had to say, Rob.
That's true. Or just say I hate when teams run the ball. Just say that, and then you will get him completely cranked up.
Absolutely.
So, I tried for 5 years, man, to try to out-talk Seth, and
no, it's I'm an older guy now, Barrett. I don't have that kind of fight anymore.
You say that now. After something crazy goes down week one, you'll be right back in it, man.
So Mike's gonna have a case. Mike's gonna have a case of alcohol under the desk by week 3 to get through these shows.
No, this is really gonna be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. It's a really interesting dynamic with all three of us, and I think it's gonna be it's gonna blend. Like the press conference, I thought was fun. I was entertained yesterday by the press conference.
I was too.
And so to me, that was a show. It was like a Seinfeld, a show about nothing. We had a show yesterday with the press conference.
The format's great too, Mike. It just lends itself. You can be a lot looser. It's not the restrictions that you have with radio and TV. You can really be yourself, man. Not that you weren't already.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I didn't really have any restrictions on radio and TV, which probably got me into trouble.
That's why you're
right.
So maybe I need some restrictions.
Yeah. So Mike, I got to ask you. Give us a sample right now of your thoughts of Jalen Hurts and where he is and which side of the fence you're on right now.
I'm just kind of in the middle with him. Like I saw some improvement last year. I didn't see enough for me to go, oh man, they're really gonna he's really gonna blossom this year. I got to see a little more about that. Now, That said, I don't know why there's any way he shouldn't be able to do that. Let's face it, they upgraded. Their offensive line is solid. He's got weapons. I know Seth wants him to run the ball, but he's going to have to make. I didn't see enough of him making the valid throw, like the one you really can count on that most quarterbacks in this league can make. But I don't know why there's any reason he won't be able to do it this year with an increased talent level. So that's really what I'm counting on. But like, I can't go one side or the other right now. Like, I'm not encouraged or I'm not discouraged. I just have to see more.
I'm in the same
Fair
spot.
enough.
Like, it's not hot takey. It's not, whatever, but I think it's real. We saw enough good. We saw some things we don't know about. They upgraded his talent on that side of the ball to help him. And now, look, the floor is yours, man. Do your thing. We need to see it.
And the offensive line, I think, is really good. And he's got to trust that to the point where he hangs in instead of – because I think sometimes he has a tendency – I think he's worked on it, but I think he has his clock on his head goes, all right, I got to get out. And if he can just get rid of that and let it develop and hang in there and he can make a throw. Now, I don't know, but this arm strength thing that he supposedly had the second strongest arm strength at the combine and all that kind of, I don't know if I've seen that yet. Mm-hmm. So I hope that increases too.
Mm,
well, I'm just looking at it from the aspect that, all right, he's been productive and we need to look at him not as a Herbert. We can't look at him like that, but we can't look at him like a Jackson either. So when you're looking at him, he's got to make his own niche on who he is. More along the lines of being in the middle of that guy, kind of almost a little bit like Dak Prescott. I think he has all those intangibles to be a really good quarterback, but is really good enough going into the season because after this season, he's going to get paid.
I think what he does, to me, he breaks the team's heart when he gets that first down on 3rd and 7 with his legs. Now, I know that can't happen a lot. I'd rather see that with a football delivery to somebody, but that I can't discount that either because that really wears on the team when a guy can get out and make a first down when you think he got him.
Mike, do you think Jonathan Gannon will be a better D coordinator just based on the fact that he now has a better group of talent, or is it proceed with caution?
I think he should be. I don't know what's in that guy's head half the time. So I got to think that a smart guy, he's probably a smart guy, and a smart guy who sees better personnel should be a smarter defensive coordinator. Now, there are guys on the other side that think that they invented the wheel and it has to be done their way instead of utilizing the personnel. So to me, he's a mystery. I know Seth doesn't like him. I know that. So, like, the guys are going to be on him every week with Seth. But like, I'm more open-minded. I think if you coaches become better when you give them better people, and it's amazing how it alters their thinking. At least the smart ones. And I think this is a fairly smart staff.
Mike, when it comes to Sirianni, do you say, is it good, or how do you view turning over the play calling to Steichen when he was supposed to be the offensive guru last season?
Yeah, I don't know about that, Rob. It's a good question. I don't know why he did that. Did he feel overwhelmed? Because sometimes, if that's the case, then maybe it's a good thing that he can just concentrate on being a head coach. But we were told that like he was the guy who knew how to call plays. So I don't know what to make of it. There's a lot of questions. It's funny because we're trusting a lot of things based on how they improve their team. But you guys are right to raise the questions of like how they're going to be coached. So, wait and see. We'll know. Like, I think we'll know by 2 games. I think this show will be able to proclaim whether they're going to be in the playoffs or not, which is always, that's a sports talk radio.
What we doing?
Take, but yeah, I think we could pretty much see what they're going to be or whether the coaching staff has altered some things.
Yeah. I don't know, man. They don't practice enough. They don't even know what their identity is going to be. They don't have been on the field enough. How do you leave 6 extra days on the table? I just can't get past that.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I know. Look, listen, they're good. They're going to be good. I think they're a playoff team. I think they're a 10-win team. I don't know that at Dallas's level yet, but I think it's going to be a fairly interesting season. Other seasons you come into and go, you're not feeling good about it. I think the majority of people feel good about it. Not great, but good.
Mike, how's the last month or so been? Just what have you been doing? Chilling, man. How's it been to kind of take a step back and kind of decompress a little bit?
I took a literal step back, Rob, because I ripped my foot.
Oh no!
Trying to going back to play basketball. And, yeah, I tore. It's funny because my doctor sent me pictures of the surgery the other day, and
you had surgery?
My tendon tore off the foot bone and rolled up towards the ankle.
Oh man!
It's called the extensor tendon. So, and I knew exactly when I did it because I tried to make an old school move, Barrett, where I, cross over, jump stop in the lane, and I kind of rose up with a finger roll layup, and I launched off my left foot, and I knew something was not right when I went up in the air, and then I fell down on it, and it was really painful for like 4 days, and then the pain stopped, and but my foot was flopping. My foot was like a horse; it was clomping like a horse. My left foot was literally flopping. It would not land properly. So I went to see somebody who was highly recommended. He happened to be the foot doctor for the U.S. soccer team. And he was really kind of not optimistic about it. The MRI revealed that this tear had rolled up 3.5 centimeters towards my ankle. And I didn't want to get the surgery because I've been playing golf on it. And I said, what happens if you don't get the surgery? And he says, your foot will flop for the rest of your life and it'll get worse. So and you never walk correctly again. So I figured, wow, that's probably a good enough reason.
Not much of a choice there, Mike, right?
Yeah. But it's been, this is like a 12-week injury. So I had a cast on for a long time, and now I have a boot on. I wasn't wearing a boot yesterday because I'm trying to walk on it a little bit. But the incision is like the scar is like 10 inches long, and I'm looking at it like I'm laughing because that night I really didn't want to play basketball, but I was kind of forced into it. It was like a 4-on-4, and they needed an eighth. And it was foolish to do it, but that's what I've been doing. So with no job really and no leg and really not being able to do anything, including play golf, it's been a really boring time for me.
When are you old guys going to learn? You can't. You're not the weekend warriors anymore. See, I learned that lesson a long time ago. The mind says go, and the body says no.
Here's the thing, about like basketball is to me the essential workout. Like I hate running, I can't run. I don't like to go to the gym that much. But basketball, you get a really full workout. You get a good sweat on, and this is like a smaller court. It was like it's a 4-on-4 full court type of size. And I got back to playing, and I really felt good about it because I loved that sweat at the end of like playing 2 hours, 2.5 hours to run. It's really good. So I got conned back into it, but I wasn't thinking that the tendons are weaker when you get to be 100 years old. So that's the way it goes.
But I got to imagine that the juices are flowing, man, to be able to kick back in when Eagle season, which is you got about 2 months or whatever it is, a little less.
Yeah, I was actually going back to play baseball this summer too, in an age group league. I've been playing in age group baseball leagues for a really long time, so that curtailed that. And I just want to be able to do something. And I can tell. They told me I can go to the range and swing and hit a couple of golf balls. And I go, oh, that's good. They go, but you have to wear your boot. Now, can you imagine trying to swing a golf ball with a damn boot on your left leg?
Right.
You need a base to swing. So I can't do that either.
Yeah.
Well, 3 more weeks. They said 3 more weeks.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna sit back, man, and practice law, man. I mean, come on, man.
Well, that's still in the works. I got a couple of things that I'm working on that way. So I didn't know what I was gonna do, really. I mean, I was like, just wanted to take the summer off and figure out whether I wanted to work or not, or whether I just wanted to be, do nothing the rest of my life and just play golf and kick back and enjoy.
That's okay too, if that's what it is.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
And the thing is, you lose the whole summer. I mean, you think about the summers we've had the last couple of years with this pandemic and the limitations we've had of going here and going there. And this is like the first free will summer we've had in a couple of years. And all of a sudden this happens to you, man. That's got to be frustrating.
Well, here's the other thing about this. They had to use a cadaver tendon to weave onto my other tendon, which was kind of destroyed. I'm not that familiar with the cadaver system.
You got a dead man's body part in you.
I started to wonder, like, maybe it was a really good golfer the cadaver was a really good golfer, or somebody who had some hops.
That Bobby Jones cadaver in your foot.
But interestingly enough, they give me these forms where you can actually thank the family of the donor of the tendon.
Oh wow!
And so I was like, let me survey you guys. Like, is that something you would do? Would you take the time to write a letter to the family, or is that weird?
If it was like a heart transplant, Mike, and I'm being serious, or something like that, probably not for the foot.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, that movie 7 pounds or something like that. 7 pounds or something like that.
What 7
pounds or something like this? It's a movie where.
Really?
Yeah, it's a movie about the same thing. He's it's what's his name? Will Smith, and 10 pounds, something that nature, and he kills a family. I shouldn't tell you the movie. You need to go see the movie. It's a great.
Too
movie.
late now, man. Go ahead.
Right, but he killed a family in a car wreck, but then he goes around after that and he feels bad, so he starts, almost like willing his body parts out to different people. Like he gave this one lady a heart. Another guy was blind, gave him his eyes, and gave all his money and stuff away to this family in need. It's a really good movie.
Okay.
It can't hurt.
It's 7 pounds.
Here's the way I'm going to play it.
Pounds.
When I get back to playing golf and I shoot 80, I'm thanking them.
Right.
If your game stinks, you're not saying anything.
Exactly.
I want my money back.
The way I would view it is, how recent has the person deceased that you got the tendon from? Is it still an emotional time for the family?
We're in a weird place. Right
I know, but I mean, it's a great question, though.
It's a conversation. I actually talked about this on the radio, and most of the people thought that it was a good idea to thank the people. If they give you the information, then they probably think that, or they probably have some record of them really appreciating when people do that. So I think I'll do it.
That's interesting.
You have to find out. You have to go through a registry, and like they don't give you the name of the person right away. You have to get through a registry and do the research, and you have a code number or something, and you can find out who the family is.
I want my daddy's tendon back.
So yeah, how do you work? I want my daddy's tendon back. Listen to this, baby. So how do you word a letter like that? Hey, thanks for your family member giving me I don't even know how you would word something like that.
He's being carried on, basically.
I think I might say something like the tendon I got from you guys was better than my tendon that I could ever possibly be. So I appreciate. I don't know. I think I'll just keep it simple.
Yeah, that's a weird letter to write, man. I don't know about that one.
It's interesting.
I just put thank you. From BJ.
Yeah, that's good. Nice enough. Hey, you handle it too.
Thank you.
I think there's a lot of ways.
Very selfless and earnest for your family member to donate even as much as a tendon to somebody who can help their life down the road or whatever.
Wow.
Well said. Well said. Well, we did want to jump around a little bit, hit you with some other stuff too. You think about the Phils, man? Pretty good finish to the before the All-Star break.
Yeah, they lose 4 before that though.
They lost 4 straight and they won 3 straight.
I mean, my sense is that Harper's going to try to come back. He's probably going to try to come back too soon. I can't see where a baseball player's timing is going to be like right on point as soon as he comes back. So I don't know how much that's going to help. They've been hanging in there pretty good, I guess. Their defense is still not great. Castellano looks like he's forgotten how to hit. And somehow they're hanging in there. So I don't know. I just think they're going to come a little bit short in the playoffs. Just a little bit short. I think all this is going to flatten out. And you got these there's a lot of good teams that they're going to have to topple. And I can't see I think the projected total was for the playoffs was 86.
87 is
87, 86.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can get there.
You think
it might be a little short of that.
You think there'll be buyers before the trade deadline?
I don't know. That's a really good question. Like, where would they buy? Would they buy another starting pitcher? They'd probably get another relief pitcher. And I'm not. Their outfield. Were they going to buy? They're going to buy another center fielder and try to throw him out there. Like, I don't know what areas that they would go in to buy.
I think starter. I just think because you can't trust.
Probably need another one.
Yeah, with that bad knee, I don't know. I think that's where you need to go if you're them. And not that the outfield's great, but that's what I would do.
Yeah, but the problem with that is the starter you get is a 4, normally a 4.
Yeah.
And you throw him in there, and it's like who was that left-hander that they had? He's still pitching, by the way, in the big leagues. The left-hander they got at the deadline one year.
Oh,
I can't remember his name.
And they've had a lot of bad ones.
Yeah.
Go back to Dennis
around.
Cook.
This guy continues to bounce around. He's still on somebody's roster.
Yeah, Mike Minor, maybe, or one of those guys. Yeah, that's interesting. Flyers. I know you're a guy who covered them, remembers the good old days, Mike, and it is as bad as I can ever remember it, man. What's your sense of where things are there?
I don't know how a general manager keeps his job.
It's amazing.
After this, I really don't. This old school mentality, they just can't shed. I mean, Bob Clark and Paul Holmgren are still there making decisions, and I think that's why Chuck Fletcher is there. That there's some kind of old hockey tie-in. This guy presided over one of the worst seasons ever in the history of this franchise, and he's back, and he brings in a very questionable guy in Tony DeAngelo. They're oblivious.
Yes,
they're oblivious to things. So I just haven't paid much attention to them. We may have talked about the Flyers one day in the last 180.
Yep.
When I was doing Sports Talk Radio, and that's just a sign of there's just no interest in them at all.
Yep.
So, and there's not a fan revolt with that fan.
That's the worst thing. It's apathy.
It really is. I mean, they're kind of happy to be there. You get a little bit of complaining, but it's like, it's a Flyers game. Let's go. And the other sports are just so different in this town where there's alarms that they're sounding all the time when things are going wrong. The fan base sounds off right away.
100%.
So.
Mike, did you ever think you see the Flyers in your lifetime be this bad, this bottom?
No, I can't imagine. They were protected a lot of years by no salary cap. And I think that's kind of evened them out because when you don't have a salary cap, you can outspend your mistakes. And now that they're playing by the same rules, their judgments have really come home to roost on them. And I don't know. Listen, I had this crazy idea. I would change everything with the Flyers. I changed their color. Yeah. I changed their logo. I could fire those. I really would. I would blast through that with a sandblaster and just start all over because the old mindset, and I understand the tradition of that puck with the wing and the orange and black and all that stuff. But I think that's really weighed them down all these years because that's a 70s identity. And they can't get rid of it. They just, they want to carry that wherever they go. So,
well, I mean, lastly, little Sixers.
Look at the team. Everybody redesigns their logo.
Yeah.
It's like maybe the Blackhawks or the Red Wings, like the original 6. But everybody's got a different twist. Everybody changes it up every now and then.
I hear you. Barrett, go ahead.
I'm just going to say, I mean, Mr. Snyder, he's rolling over right now. But I thought that they were trying to sell the team like 2 years ago. But they were at rock bottom. I thought they were at rock bottom 2 years ago. Now they're here. They're past rock bottom now.
Yeah, they drilled down.
Bedrock, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is. So there's no chance they can sell the team and get fair market value. So as they go forward, the only thing you can do is get better. But I don't see the real serious attempt to get better. Why is this? What's going on, man?
Listen, I don't know. The president is, Dave Scott, I don't know who he is. And I don't know if he actually takes inventory of what the reality is in this situation. I think he's kind of on along the ride as an owner. And that's why, no decisions are being made. The general manager skated out of this. They fired another coach. They brought another guy in who did worse than the other guy. And the general manager has been making this decision, skate some more. I just don't get it.
It's incredible.
It's never had, all the years I've been covering sport, I've never seen anything like this where a guy is not accountable for the worst team in the league. So.
Lastly, Sixers, Mike.
Yes.
Make some moves for, certainly upgrading with PJ Tucker. They do some other things, Melton, some bench help, etc. But I still don't think they're better than Miami, Milwaukee, Boston. What's your sense of where they're headed? The Harden thing this past week, he's taking the discount, all that kind of stuff.
I agree, Rob. They know what they need. It was interesting to see Harden said that the lack of depth was the primary problem. And I get it, but how about, was he a primary problem? I mean, I'm not so sure that he wasn't a primary problem because he wasn't the same player. I don't know what he's supposed to say about that, but to me, it all centers on him. If he's going to come back as a semblance of the old Jay, he's not going to be the same. But the whole key is whether he is going to be a guy. And PJ Tucker's going to help, but he's 100.
Right.
So,
Right.
I don't know. They're going to have to grab some better role players than they had last year. And I hope the days of the Furcons are long gone and they actually bring a guy in. And Melton will help. Bring some guys in that you can rely on in a playoff situation. They need some pieces. So you're right. They're not better than a lot of teams right now. I mean, what are they, fifth? You look at them?
Four or five.
In the pecking order?
Yeah.
In
their own conference.
They're not. I don't think they're going to challenge next year either, unless Harden has a monster year, and I just don't see that.
So, Mike, do you think they're laying in the weeds in terms since James Harden has given them the green light to go out and get what you need and give me what's left over? Do you think they're lurking in the weeds in terms of making another splash move before it's all said and done?
I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, can they make that kind of a splash move? Can they add a third star? Or is it, do we have to just get some better role players at this point? I think that's probably the area they're going to go in rather than get the splash third star and hope that Embiid and Harden are enough of stars to carry him through on that.
Yeah,
I thought Tobias they would actively work to trade him, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen now. So
Mike,
what they are is what they are.
This is by request as we get you out of here. Have you familiarized yourself with the Zach Wilson story?
Yes. Well, he's living life.
What
living life?
Also known as the MILF hunter, according to some people. I don't know, how much reality there is to that. What's your sense of what old Zach's up to these days, or young Zach?
Listen, man, I can't hate on him. I mean, he's a young, good-looking kid. He's in New York City. He's like the anti-Joe Namath because he's got that Utah flavor about him. But like the mom's involved, it's a very bizarre story.
He likes his mature women. I mean, good for him.
Here's the kid. The kid better realize though he could do that if he plays really well. But if he does it next year, they're just going to hammer it with him. They're going to throw darts at him because of all this stuff. So he's setting himself up. I kind of like it though because he's got to realize that he's setting himself up. Being a playboy in New York City, you also have to deliver.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. Good luck to the kid.
He gave
I'm not
up.
mad at him, Rob.
I'm not either. Go do your thing, man.
He gave up a 10+ girlfriend for a mom. Girl,
he likes the maturity. What's wrong with that? He likes the mature ones.
The mom has to be a 13 if he's giving
his
up a 10+.
mom is insane. Oh yeah.
No, I'm talking about the mom's friend has to be a 13 if he's giving up a 10.
She's pretty strong.
He realizes he needs experience, D. He needs
mentor.
Come on, Mike.
He needs a mentor to teach him the ropes.
Come on,
but
Mike.
she's not gonna last long. The kid looks like he's gonna he'll grab some knowledge and move on.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, Mike, you didn't see. This is what you missed, man. This kind of stuff.
Yes.
MILF hunter questions.
This was fun, man.
Yeah. All right, Mike. We're looking forward to it again. So it is Mike, it is Seth, it is D Gun, it is Devin Caney. After each and every Eagles game from Ocean Resort, it's gonna be on fire, man. Mike, great
It'll
stuff.
Be fun. Can't wait.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Guys.
Appreciate it, bro.
Take care, Mike Missinelli. Good stuff, man. Love running the gamut, jumping around with Mike. That was funny.
Man, I still can't get over that. I just don't get it, man.
You don't get it. You got a 10, and then he goes to a 10 that's an older 10 who knows more.
Okay, wait a minute. Do you think the older 10 is better looking than the current? Than
pretty
the
strong,
S10?
man.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Come on, man.
But like Mike said, I don't know if he's locking this thing in for the rest of his life. I think he's just having a little fun right now.
I know, but
You know what I mean?
She was probably trying to get too serious. She's trying to get married. The cougar isn't trying to get married. I mean, it's all different, man.
The cougar just wants to have some fun too. You know what I mean?
Right.
The cougar.
Yeah.
She pounced.
She pounced.
And then
he was in the jungle.
What is wrong with you?
Got
man?
in and got out, bro. He got in, got out, and it was all good. The girlfriend, she wanted to settle down. Start plant flowers and sprouting roots and stuff. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. And he kept it moving. All right.
Man. I ain't buying it. No, I'm sorry.
I'm not mad at him at all. All right. So when we come back, we'll dive into our NFL rankings, both conferences combined. We'll do our top 10 when we get back. Don't go anywhere. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks. I am Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right. IT infrastructure environments and are more and more complex and heterogeneous than ever before. Consequently, teams really struggle to respond to pressing issues with speed necessary to promote positive business results. And the data that powers predictive monitoring and automation is left unexploited. Razor Technology addresses the challenge with a holistic approach that connects every part of an organization's technology assets, enabling proactive and secure IT operations without sacrificing the agility that drives innovation. Razor Technology automates monitoring and management to bolster IT teams that are feeling stretched thin, and it improves auditing and reporting procedures so that actionable insights find their way to leaders who need them most. Save time and money on your IT and cloud services and secure your organization with leading end-to-end infrastructure solutions by calling Razor Technology today at 866-797-3282. That's 866-797-3282, or visit us online at razor-tech.com. That's razor-tech.com.